everyone, it's Nadia from YARNutopia. Today we are making number 223 Granny Square of our 365 Days of Granny Squares. This one is called Flower Bunch Granny Square, and we are making these cute little flowers all the way around and making our square. This one is very intricate today, but I try to make it as easy as possible. We are making this big donut ring in the middle there. It's really thick, and we are working around a bunch of yarn, and then we are making rounds 2 making these pink flowers, and then rounds 3 and 4 are making these flowers. So it's a really interesting design, and then we're making crisscross stitches on our outer layers, our outer rounds to make these interesting designs. And then also, I mean, you could go on to making another round, a single crochet round if you wanted, or just kept repeating round 6 if you wanted to make yours bigger. This one turns out to be about 16 centimeters, which is about 6.5 inches. So that's how big mine turned out to be. The supplies we're going to need today are just scrap yarns. I'm just using Red Heart Super Saver yarn. You can use any worsted weight yarn or a size 4 medium yarn. I'm just using the Red Heart Super Saver scrap yarns that I have lying around, but you can use anything that you've got. You can use a double knitting yarn if you want to, and if you want to, you can use a smaller or bigger crochet size hook, but I'm going to demonstrate with this H size hook, which is 5 millimeters today. And then I'm also going to advise you to have a yarn needle and a scissor, because we will be cutting our yarn and sewing in our ends, and there's a lot of ends to be sewn in on this piece because we are going to be making these French knots also in the middle of these flowers to tack them down onto our square. So you want to make sure you have that as well. Before we get started, I do want to mention there are links in the description of this video. So there's a link to the blog where you'll get the written pattern for this square, this flower bunch granny square. You will see at the bottom of the 365 Days of Granny Squares page, number 223, it will say Flower Bunch Granny Square. You can click that and follow along today. And then also there's a link to the Facebook and Instagram. Make sure to follow me on both pages, and you can share your photos. Share the photo in the comment section of today's post on Facebook, and then on Instagram, make sure to hashtag 365 Days of Granny Squares so that I can see your square, and make sure to hashtag YARNutopia as well. Our hashtag is growing so much during this year, so I really like seeing all the colors you come up with on your squares. Also, I'd like to say a big thank you to my dad, Fuad, as much for taking the time to make these videos with us. He is our videographer, editor, and photographer for all of our videos, so make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can get that update on when he posts our next video. So let's get started in making number 223 Granny Square. Alright, to start off, we're going to make a bunch of strands of yarn. So take your yarn end here, and then kind of go about, I would say, 8 inches or so. Just kind of eyeball it. And then you're going to take 12 of those strands. So I'm kind of just going back and forth, just wrapping them like this. Okay, and I'm taking about 12 strands. Okay, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, and then I'm going to cut this. Okay, so now we have just this piece here. And what we're going to do now is wrap this around and around, just like this. Okay, and we're going to make this hole a little bit bigger, like that. And what we kind of want to do, if you can, just start to tie a knot, kind of like that. So now it's secure, okay? But you want this hole to be kind of large, okay? Like that. Kind of fit all 4 fingers in there or something. Then what we're going to do is take the same color, okay? So this is going to be the center of your circle. We're going to go into this ring, okay, so we kind of made a ring here, like this. We're going to go into this ring here. We're going to start at this end, okay, and I'm going to hook on the same color, pull that through, and then chain up 1. Okay, so now we're secure in there. Alright, Then we're going to go back into the ring and we're going to make 36 single crochets. So go into the ring, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay, but you kind of want to pull it a little tighter so that it kind of makes it like uniform, like a big donut kind of thing. Okay, so then go back in, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay, just like that. So that's 2. Go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's 3. This is 4, 5. Okay, and depending on your tension, your stitches, your thickness of this ring will depend on that tension. So you can go really tight or you can go really loose. Okay, so just continue working single crochets into this ring, just like how I'm doing it. And then once I have 36 single crochets around, I'll meet you up because I'm just going to work around this ring here, just like this. And obviously all these stragglers will be on the inside of the ring, so you won't see it, and it's going to be a little bit, there's a little bit of, you know, manipulation here that you have to move your stitches around, obviously. So I'm going to do that. You'll need 36 of these single crochets into this ring, just like that. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and then I'll meet you up when I am finishing up this round. Alright, so I just realized, I think I said 36 single crochets, but what I meant was 32 single crochets, and you'll see that on the written pattern. So you want 32 single crochets into this donut here, and you can see here there's some extra, so what we're going to do is cut off all the extra now. Okay, so you can see there's a big gap here. I have 32 single crochets here. It looks kind of wonky. So this is where you need to be careful. We're going to cut off this extra here. Okay, right here. We're going to just cut off that extra. Okay, and then we're going to cut off this extra right here. But be careful not to cut your strand that you're working with. Okay, so just be careful. But we're going to cut off this extra. Okay, and you want to make sure that your stitches all are stretched out, okay, so you're not like super crammed in this little thing. And I mean, if you don't want to do this, if you don't want to like use yarn inside, you could use a ring. I know they make these like these little macrame rings. Obviously this one's too large, but I know they make little tiny rings, like napkin rings or something. You can always crochet around that if you wanted to, but you don't have to. So now that those ends are cut and I'm just, you know, moving these out, kind of stretching these out, your piece should look something like this. Okay, looks cool. So now we can go on to round 2. What we need to do is, I'm going to first, let's see here. Yep, first I'm going to slip stitch to the beginning single crochet. Okay, so if you need to, count back 32 and then just slip stitch into the first single crochet of this round. Okay, so right in here, go in, yarn over, pull through and through. Okay, and then I'm going to fasten off this color. If you're not changing color, just chain up 1 and go on to the next round with me, but I'm going to chain 1 and cut this yarn and then pull it all the way through and pull tight. Okay, so that is what round 1 looks like. Cute little donut. Yeah, so now I'm going to grab a new color. Okay. I don't know why I keep calling it a donut. It looks like a donut to me. I don't know. Anyway, we're going to start in any stitch around, so any single crochet around you can start. I'm just going to start right where we left off, so right in here. Go in, and then we're going to hook on the new color and pull it through, and then we're going to chain up 1. In the same stitch, we are going to single crochet. So go back into the same stitch, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay? And then we're going to single crochet into the next 3 stitches. So go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. And again, next stitch, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. And the next stitch, single crochet. Now we're going to make a flower. We're going to make a stem first and then the flower on the chain here. So I'll show you how to do that. We're going to chain up 5, so yarn over, pull through, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so that is 5 chains. In the second chain from the hook, we are going to put 10 single crochets. So the loop on the hook doesn't count, so count 1 and 2 right in this chain. We're going to go in, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. We have to put 10 single crochets in there. So it was 1, and we're going to work in a round, kind of like a little circle here. So it's better if you like set this on the table and then work around this so you can move it around. So that was 1. Go back into that chain, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's 2. This is 3. Go back into that chain, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. That's 4. This is 5. Now kind of hop over that chain there, work on this side, just like this. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, then we're going to slip stitch to the first single crochet of this round. If you need to, count back 10 and slip stitch into there. So go in, yarn over, pull through, and through. Okay, so you can see here that we've started making a little flower. And now we're going to go on to round 2 of the flower. We're going to chain up 1. We're going to put 3 single crochets into the same stitch here. So go in for 3 single crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. Then we're going to slip stitch into the next stitch. So go in, yarn over, pull through, and through. Then we're going to put 3 single crochets into the next stitch. So 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to slip stitch into the next stitch. And then repeat. So put 3 single crochets in the next stitch. 1, 2, and 3. And then slip stitch into the next stitch. Okay, put 3 single crochets in the next stitch. 1, 2, 3. Then slip stitch into the next. And then put 3 single crochets in the next stitch. 1, 2, 3. And then slip stitch into the last stitch right here. Okay, just like that. So there's our little flower that we made. And don't worry, later on I'm going to go back and sew this closed so it kind of cinches it closed. But now what we're going to do is kind of turn this backwards so you can see this chain down here. We need to single crochet in these 3 chains. So you can see the chain. There's one chain right here. Okay, just make sure if you can't see it, just to go into a loop back here. Okay, obviously nobody's going to see this part because it's behind the flower, but we're going to go into this chain, okay, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops, okay, for a single crochet. Then the next chain, there should be 3 chains, so 1, this chain is 2, and this next chain is 3, okay. Now we're going to work back down onto round 1 here. We're going to single crochet into the next 8 stitches. Okay, so go into this next stitch right here, single crochet, the next 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, and now we're going to make another flower. So I'm going to just lay this flat though so you can see that there is one flower. Obviously looks a little messed up right now, but we will be fixing that, cinching this circle closed, and later on I might even put an embellishment in there. So now we're going to repeat. So chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put 10 single crochets in the second chain from the hook. So, whoops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and then slip stitch to the first single crochet here, go in, yarn over, pull through and through, then chain 1, put 3 single crochet in this first stitch, and then slip stitch into the next, then put 3 single crochets in the next stitch, and then slip stitch into the next, then 3 single crochets in the next stitch, and then slip stitch into the next, 3 single crochets in the next stitch, slip stitch in the next, and one more time, repeat 3 single crochets in the next stitch, and then slip stitch into the last stitch here. Then we're going to turn this around so you can see the chain back here. We're going to single crochet in these next 3 chains. So go into this first one right next to the flower, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Okay, next chain, single crochet, and the next chain, single crochet. Okay, don't worry about if these single crochets look kind of wonky and weird. We are going to be covering them up with our flowers anyway, so that you won't see them. And then single crochet into the next 8 stitches on round 1 here. So 1, here's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, and just repeat. So do that again. So you're going to make another flower, another side. Okay, so that's 8 single crochet, and then 1 more flower. Once I'm finished with my second flower over here, or I guess my 4th flower on this round, I'll meet you up and then we'll go on to the next round together. Alright, just finishing my last stem flower here, and now there should be 4 stitches left. You want to single crochet into the last 4 stitches. Okay, and then we're going to slip stitch to the beginning single crochet of this round. So right in here, just insert your hook, yarn over, pull through and through. And then we're going to fasten off this color. Regardless if you're changing color or not, fasten off anyway, because we're going to start in a different stitch. So chain 1, cut that yarn, pull it through, and pull tight. So now you're probably like, gosh, Nadia, this doesn't look like a square at all. Well, you're right, but I will have you fix a few things before we go on to the next round. So obviously these holes in these flowers are very unattractive. So what I'm going to do is show you one, and then you can do all the rest of them this way. So yarn your yarn needle here. Go in the back of your flower and go underneath round 1. Okay, when you put all those 10 single crochets around in that one chain, okay, just go underneath each one of those stitches. Okay, we're basically gonna just put a magic circle inside of here and we're gonna cinch it closed. Okay, so go underneath all of those stitches. Okay. Oopsie. Okay, just like that. And then you can tie a knot and kind of pull it really tight. Okay, and it kind of closes that hole in the back. Okay. Then, let me tie another mini knot here so that's secure. Okay. And then we can cut this short. Okay, and then you can even take those stragglers there and sew them in, but here is the front of the flower now. Okay, so that's closed in the middle, and that's what it should look like. Okay, so that was super easy. I'm just gonna sew in these ends, and then I'll do the rest of these off camera, and then we can go on to round 3. Alright, this is what your work should look like, okay? So I just made each flower center kind of cinched in, so now that is closed on each one of them, so they look really nice, and I really highly advise you to do that right away. And then to make sure your work is looking at the front, if you're looking at your work flat, okay, you can see your stitches on the front here looking upward, okay? Because if I turn this over, you obviously can't see then those stitches, those like little V's. They look like little V's. Like this is like a V, this is like a V, V, okay? Like this, okay? That's the front of your work. So that would be this top part. But if you flip this over, you don't see those V stitches. You just see the back loop of your work and then this weird loop down here, okay? So that's the back of your work. So you can, and then you obviously can see the back of your flowers. Don't look so, I don't know, attractive. So this is the front of your work. So now we're gonna go on to the next round. You want to start this next round in a stitch to the right of your flower. Okay, so any flower, you have 4 options. You want to start in the single crochet right next to it on the right side of it, just like this, okay? So the one right below it, there's 2 right below it. So this stitch, and then we chained up 5, and then we came back down and made this single crochet. So you want to start on this side, okay? So insert your hook, grab a new color or the same color, doesn't really matter, just a new yarn, hook that on and pull that through. Okay, now we're going to be working behind these flowers, so if you need to just fold them forward, totally fine. And now we are going to chain up 6. So yarn over and pull through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And what that counts as is the first 3 chains count as our first double crochet, and the next 3 chains count as our chain 3 space. So now we're going to skip over this flower and stem here, so we're going to fold that down. And we're going to go and put a double crochet into this very next single crochet right here. So yarn over, go into this next single crochet, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, so that's a double crochet. And we just worked behind our flower here. Now we're going to double crochet in each stitch until we hit the next flower. So it should be 7 stitches here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, so now we are at the next flower right here. There's the front of it right there. Okay, so now we're going to chain 3. So yarn over, pull through 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to fold this flower forward so we're working behind it, and we're going to single crochet into this single crochet right here, right next to it. So yarn over, oh, I'm sorry, double crochet. So yarn over, if you can, it's going to be a little cumbersome here. Yarn over, go into that single crochet right next to it. Okay, obviously you want your flower to be in the front, so if you made the mistake like me, you can always put it through the chain 3 space here. Okay, then yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, so that flower is in the front of your chain 3 corner. And then just double crochet into the next 7 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 is right here. So I thought 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, right in here. You want to make sure that you get it in there. If you don't have 7 stitches, or 8 stitches on each side, sorry. 8 stitches on each side, you can always put an extra stitch in there. You want to have 8 stitches on each side, okay? So then just do that again, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, work behind your flower, and double crochet into this very next stitch, this very next single crochet. Okay, and then just double crochet in there and in the next 7 stitches, and then chain 3, work behind your flower, and double crochet into the last 7 stitches. So I'll meet you up when I finish this round. When you double crochet in the last 7 stitches here, you should see your beginning chain 6. We want to slip stitch in the 3rd chain of this beginning chain 6. So go into the 3rd chain, then yarn over, pull through and through. So now we're done with round 3. So this is what it should look like so far. So now we want to go on to round 4. If you want to, you can fasten off here, change your color, and start in any corner. But I'm not going to change color here. I'm just going to go slip stitch into this corner here, yarn over, pull through, and chain up 1. And now for round 4, we're basically going to repeat round 2, except our flowers now are going to be on the side here, okay? So in between our flowers, we're going to make flowers. So starting in the corner, we are going to put 3 single crochets. So 1, 2, and 3, then chain 2, 1, 2, and then 3 more single crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to single crochet into the next 4 stitches. So go in, yarn over, pull through, 2. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so now we're in the center of the side. Okay, and now we're going to make our flower. So chain 5, just exactly like we did in round 2. So chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Put 10 single crochet in the 2nd chain from the hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can turn this around here. 8, 9, and 10. And then we're going to slip stitch to the 1st single crochet right here. Okay, go in, yarn over, pull through, and then we're going to make our mini petals. So we are going to chain 1, put 3 single crochet into this 1st stitch, 1, 2, 3, slip stitch into the next stitch, then 3 single crochets in the next stitch, 1, 2, and 3, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through and through for a slip stitch, and then make 3 single crochets in the next stitch, then slip stitch into the next, 3 single crochets in the next, and slip stitch into the next, 3 single crochets in the next, and then slip stitch into the last. Okay, then we're going to turn this flower around, and we have 3 chains right here. We're going to single crochet into each one of those. So go in, yarn over, pull through, 2. Go into the next chain, yarn over, pull through, 2, and the next single crochet. Then we're going to make sure you're looking at the front of your work where these flowers are showing in the front. We're going to single crochet into the next 4 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now we're in the corner behind this flower here. Flip this forward. You can see the corner. We're going to put 3 single crochets, then chain 2, 1, 2, and then 3 more single crochets into that corner. And now we're just going to repeat what we did on this side here, okay, for this side and each side around. So single crochet into the next 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and 4, chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, make your 10 single crochets into the 2nd chain from the hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, oops, 9, and 10. Then slip stitch to the first single crochet right here, go in, yarn over, pull through and through, then chain 1, put 3 single crochet into that same stitch that we just slip stitched into, then slip stitch into the next stitch, then 3 single crochets in the next stitch, so you're making 5 petals. Okay, then slip stitch in the next, make your petal in the next, and then slip stitch into the next, put 3 single crochets in the next, then slip stitch into the next, 3 single crochets in the next, and then slip stitch into the last. Then flip your flower forward or backwards like this, and you see there's 3 chains left. We're going to single crochet into each one of those chains. So 1, 2, and 3. Then we're going to come back down here, make sure you're looking at the front of your work, okay, making sure these flowers are in the front here, and then make sure to single crochet into the last 4 stitches on this side. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now we're in the next corner, so you know what to do. Put 3 single crochet, chain 2, and 3 single crochet. And then just finish off your last 2 sides, and I'll meet you up and we'll go on to round 5. Alright, I just did my last 2 sides here, and I did end up taking time to also close these centers of these other flowers, so you can also do the same thing, just like I showed you for that one flower. Just close the center, tie a knot in the back, and then sew in that end underneath, okay? So just do that for all your flowers, and once you're finished with this round, slip stitch to the first single crochet of this round, so go in, yarn over, pull through, and through. And now we are going to change color. If you're not changing color, slip stitch into these next 2 stitches and into a corner chain space, okay, right in here, and go on to the next round with me. But I'm going to chain 1 and cut this yarn, pull it all the way through and pull tight. And then I'm going to start this next round in a corner chain space. So right in here, I'm going to grab a new color, hook that on the hook, and pull it through. Okay, and now going on to round 5, we are going to chain up 3, 1, 2, 3, and in the same corner space, the same chain 2 space, we're going to put a double crochet. So yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Then we're going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and then we're going to put 2 more double crochets into the same space. So yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and again another double crochet. Alright, now we are going to make some crisscross stitches. So we are going to skip this next stitch right here, and we are going to double crochet into the next stitch. So yarn over, go into this next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Now we are going to double crochet into this stitch right here, and we're going to work in the front of our work. So yarn over, go into this stitch, but not around this double crochet. So you will need to use your fingers to kind of manipulate it like this. Okay? We're working in front of these now. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. So you can see I made the double crochet, and these 2 are not attached. Okay, they're separate, but they are crossing over each other. Okay, so it's like a little X. So we're going to do that again. So yarn over, skip this next stitch, go into this next stitch here for a double crochet. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Then yarn over, go into the skipped stitch right here, okay, but we're going to pull this double crochet over there, just like that. So now you're just in the stitch itself. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. So now we just crisscross those stitches. Okay, and we're going to do that one more time. So yarn over, skip this stitch, go into this next stitch, make your double crochet, then make a double crochet into the stitch that you skipped. So if you want to kind of grab it, you can yarn over, grab that stitch, go in, make sure that this goes like that. Okay, then yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Then in this next stitch right here, we're just going to put a double crochet in this very next stitch. Okay, then we're going to work behind our flower, so we can kind of fold that forward, and we're going to put a double crochet into this stitch right next to this stem here. So yarn over, go into this next stitch right here, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, now we're going to make these crisscross stitches, but we're going to work behind our work. So I'll show you how to do that. Yarn over, skip this stitch, go into this next stitch, and make a double crochet. Now, instead of yarning over and going in front of our work like this, we're going to yarn over and go behind our work, kind of fold this forward, and go into that double crochet that we skipped. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. I find this way to be much easier, much faster. So yarn over, skip this next stitch, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Then yarn over, go behind your work. You can kind of turn it if you need to. Go underneath that stitch that we skipped, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. And one more time, yarn over, skip this stitch, go into the last stitch on this side, make your double crochet, then yarn over, go behind your work to the skipped stitch right here, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Now we're in the chain 2 space of the corner right here. We're going to put 2 double crochet, then chain 2, and 2 double crochet. Okay, and then we're just going to repeat exactly what we did on this side, okay, for this side and each side around. So on this side of the flower, we're going to be working in front of our work. Okay, so skip that stitch, double crochet in that stitch, then work in front of your work. And like I said, it's going to be kind of difficult because you have to move this like this. Okay, then yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so I'm just going to do these quick crisscrosses. If you need to, rewind this video to see how I did that other side. Otherwise, just continue on working these crisscross stitches. If you find the crisscross stitches to be too difficult, you can easily just put 1 double crochet into each stitch across, and that should be totally fine as well. But I'm just going to do these little crisscross stitches. Oh, and then also right before this flower, make sure to just put a double crochet in there. And then right after the flower, make sure you just put 1 double crochet in there. Okay, just like that. Okay, so the flower is right there. Make sure you're working behind your flowers, and then just continue on your X's or your stitches here. Now on this side, we can work behind our work, so we're going to go behind there into that skipped stitch, just like that, until the next corner. And in the corners, we're putting 2 double crochet, chain 2, and 2 double crochet. So just do that all the way around, and then I'll meet you up and we'll go on to the next round. Alright, when you come back around, you want to slip stitch to the beginning, chain up 3 right here, go in, yarn over, pull through, and through. So you can see here, I'll pull this side down so you can see these crisscross stitches. So these ones in front are going this way, okay, and then there's that one and that one, and then these ones in the front are going this way, okay, so they're going opposite ways on each side of these flowers. So that's why I said to go in the back or the front of your work. So now we're going to go on to the next round. We are going to, I'm just going to slip stitch into this next stitch and into the corner. If you're changing color, you can, and start in any corner, and then chain up 2, 1, 2, or I'm sorry, chain up 3, 1, 2, and 3, and then we're going to double crochet into the same space here, okay? Then we're going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and then we're going to put 2 more double crochet into the same space for our corner. Now for round 6 here, we are going to repeat round 5. So yarn over, skip this next stitch, go into the next stitch and make your double crochet. Then yarn over, go into the skipped stitch, okay, working in the front of your work, so kind of pull this back. So you just have that. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. So we made a crisscross stitch just like that. Then yarn over, skip the next stitch, go into the next stitch, and make your crisscross stitches all the way across. And now you can work all the way across. Okay, so we're gonna go into, let's see here, I just went in these 2 stitches here. So now yarn over, go into this stitch, and then make your other into skip stitch here. Okay, so we're basically just repeating round 5, except I want to show you when we get to the middle here. Okay, so I have just one more here before I get to the middle, because those ones that we just put double crochets on each side of the flower, we're actually going to crisscross those ones as well. Okay, but this one, on this whole side, you can work in the front of your work or in the back of your work. It really doesn't matter. So now we're in the middle here. See how these ones did not crisscross over, but we're still going to crisscross these ones. So I skipped this one, went into this one, now I'm going to go back into this one. Okay, and what I'm going to do is actually work in the front of my work, kind of like how I'm showing you here. We're skipping a stitch, double crocheting, then double crocheting in the skipped stitch, but we're working in the front of our work. Okay, not going like this to the back, like how I showed you to. I'm going in the front, like this. Okay, on this side, and then on this next side right here, I'll be working in the back. And then this opposite side, okay, so I'm working on this side right now. And then if I work on the opposite side here, I'm going to do the same thing, working in the front of my work. And then this last side will be worked in the back of my work, okay? Just, it's an opposite thing. You don't have to do that. You can work in the back of your work if it's easier, or the front just like this, making your X's just like this all the way around, or you can completely omit the X's and just do double crochets across. So it's really, I mean, these last 2 rounds are very versatile and you can make them however you want. But once I finish this round, we can fasten off, and then I'll show you how to tack down those flowers. Alright, I'm just finishing up here, so I make my last X or crisscross stitch here. So now we want to slip stitch to the beginning, chain up 3 right here. Just insert your hook, yarn over, pull through and through. Now if you want to, you could chain up 1 and do a single crochet round if you want to, but I'm just going to fasten off here. So chain 1, cut your yarn, pull that through and pull it tight. Grab your yarn needle and sew in that end. And then we're going to sew on or tack on the flowers because they're kind of wonky a little bit. So I'm just going to cut this, stretch it out, that's hidden. So these ones are all wonky up here, and then I tacked these 3 down off camera, and that's how they're going to look. So obviously this looks really bad right now, so we're going to tack these down. You want to kind of position them where you want them to be, kind of just push them down just to give them some shape here. Okay, so just kind of set it there. Okay, and with the stems in the back, they're obviously going to want to push up, but that's okay. So what we're going to do, I don't know if you remember the other day, I guess it was a few days ago, where we did French knots on those Pokemon, actually, the Pokemon Pikachu granny square, where we went on, we made these French knots. So what I'm going to do is grab the accent color. So I'm going to do light pink in the dark pink flowers and dark pink in the light pink flowers. So I'm going to grab this light pink first. You want to grab your yarn needle. You want to yarn your needle just like this. And then we want to go from the back of our work, okay, where you position your flower, so I'm going to go right in here. So kind of just finger it right there, put your needle in through all the layers, okay? And then what I usually do is put my finger here, wrap this around, okay? And then put my needle here, go up through this, okay? Then come down to my work and go back into my work. I don't know if you can see that. Going down into my work. Okay, down back through the back here. Okay, then we're just going to pull gently on both sides. So there's this straggler here, and that's going to pull this. Okay, and then there's this straggler here, which is going to pull this. Okay, and you just want to continue to pull tight, and there's your French knot. Cute. Now we're going to flip this over, cut our yarn, make a knot out of these two pieces, and then sew in those ends. Okay, so I'll show you that again. Let me just sew in these ends real quick. And you can sew these just really simply around the back here, because nobody is going to see this, because A, it's the back, and B, it's behind the flower, so nobody will see it on either side. Okay, so I'm just going to go underneath some of these stitches, just like that, and then cut any extra. And there you have it. Okay, so now I'm going to do it again to this corner one here. And if you want to, you could pin this down even more with your with the same color. You can kind of just sew it through and through and whatever, not to kind of tack it down even more if you don't like that is a little bit raised there. But that's okay. For the most part, it will stay down. So now we're going to do this one here. So let me grab my other pink. Okay, yarn your needle. Let me see if I can show you again here. We're going to do this one, this corner one here. So we're going to go from the back, and I'm going to go right in the corner where it's at. Okay, so right here, we're going to go up through there. Okay, then we're going to go through the flower. Okay, then we're going to wrap this around our finger, go from this side up through, kind of turn this down, go in to the flower, into this layer, then go back down through this side. And then you can see on the top here, I'm going to work with these two stragglers. I'm going to pull this one and pull the other one, and there's your French knot in the middle. So then we're going to flip this over, cut this yarn, tie these two in a knot, so once and twice, and then grab our yarn needle and sew in these ends. Okay, just like that. So there you have it. So I'm just going to continue to sew in, or make these little French knots in the center of these last three flowers here. You want to do each flower in the middle, and then once all your flowers are tacked down with those knots, then I'll meet you up and we can admire our square. Alright, so there you have it. I just sewed in all of my ends in the back and made these little French knots in the center of the flowers to make them look so adorable. And there you have it. Number 223 Granny Square is complete. Thank you so much for watching and learning how to make this Granny Square. Make sure to share your photos on the Facebook and Instagram. Make sure to hashtag 365 Days of Granny Squares. And also, if you had that chance, make sure to click that eye in the corner of this video somewhere up here to support us, and so we can keep bringing you great crochet tutorials. So have a great rest of your day, everyone, and as always, happy hooking!